Weekly Shonen Jump is the most recognizable one on this list. It produces some of the most famous manga in whatever genre they can create, like Dragon Ball, Slam Dunk, Gintama and Death Note. They started in 1968 by the famous publishing company Shueisha to compete with other publishing companies who had their own magazine as well. And after 5 years in 1973, they became the best-selling manga magazine, publishing mangas like Mars Z and Dr. Toilet, with each decade publishing more and higher quality stories like Dr. Slump, Saint Seiya, Captain Tsubasa, Fist of the North Star and Dragon Ball, with the latter two changing the genre forever, with the 1980s and the 1990s being known as the Golden Age, with Dragon Ball eventually popularizing anime in the West with the action show Dragon Ball Z, and became the blueprint of every shonen battle manga, spawning the big three during the 2000s with One Piece, Naruto and Bleach. Weekly Shonen Magazine is the second most popular magazine and is owned by Kodansha, blessing us with titles such as Ashita no Joe, Hajime no Ippo, Love Hina, Fairy Tail and Vinland Saga. Originally a monthly manga magazine, Weekly Shonen Magazine was the most popular manga magazine in the world, starting in 1959, with their most popular series at the time being 8-Man, one of the earliest examples of cyborg superheroes in Japan, predating the likes of Kamen Rider. While it was the most popular magazine for the first 20 years, during the 70s when Shonen Magazine hit a slump, its competitors Shonen Jump and Shonen Champion rapidly increased in popularity, passing Shonen Magazine. Aside from the manga, Weekly Shonen Magazine is very involved with the gravure scene, including Miss Magazine, a beauty pageant for gravure models. Weekly Shonen Sunday is also a manga magazine that started in 1959 to compete against the Weekly Shonen Magazine and is owned by Shogakukan. And despite its name, Weekly Shonen Sunday releases every Tuesday, as the name was given to make everyone feel like it's a Sunday when they are reading the magazine. They start off as a light-hearted publishing house focusing mostly on the gag and romantic comedy mangas, publishing series such as Urusei Yatsura, Ranma 1/2, Inuyasha, and the longest-running series Detective Conan. It was due to Detective Conan and its never-ending run that they were maintaining its popularity, as long-running shows were a perfect way for people to buy magazines, and thus also a great way to advertise other manga series that were in their magazine. Shonen Champion used to be a bi-weekly shonen magazine, until it changed its name to Weekly Shonen Champion and thus also publishing weekly. This magazine is owned by Akita Shoten, with a freer style and stronger personality compared to the other manga magazines. It did have a strong launch when it became weekly, where they had prominent authors in their lineup like the legendary father of manga, Osumi Tezuka. Tezuka wrote Black Jack for Shonen Champion, one of their most popular mangas at the time. Along with other popular series of the time like Dokuben, Weekly Shonen Champion was one of the magazines that was contending as the most popular manga magazine of the time. Sadly, at the start of the 80s, after the resignation of the editor-in-chief, the magazine wasn't operating at 100% and fell out of the race. The most recognizable title they produced is most likely Baki, as it has been running since 1990 and has the biggest international audience. Jump Square is the replacement for the Shonen Jump monthly manga series in 2007, before that just being known as Monthly Shonen Jump, that first started publishing in 1969. Jump Square, just like Weekly Shonen Jump, is owned by Shueisha. As you might have noticed, this is the monthly version of Shonen Jump, though this magazine was more aimed at the late teens and people in their early 20s. It was also thanks to the editor-in-chief of Jump Square that eventually Jump Plus, the online website where people can read manga, began, with mangakas jumping over from Jump Square to Jump Plus as the deadlines for digital manga are less harsh. Despite many junior and senior talent abandoning ship, a lot of great titles were released from Jump Square, like Seraph of the End, Blue Exorcist and Prince of Tennis 2. Monthly Shonen Sirius is a more modern monthly manga magazine, started in 2005, this time owned by the publishing company Kodansha. Publishing popular manga like Cells at Work, alternative stories of existing manga like Attack on Titan Before the Fall, and adaptations of light novels like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Aside from publishing in a magazine, Monthly Shonen Sirius also has a Twitter account, Sirius, where they post full short chapters. It also publishes two of the manga I was really excited about for my award-nominated video, Tower Dungeon and Versus. Dengeki Daioh is a monthly manga magazine by Kadokawa and publishes a lot of the manga based on light novels, like Toradora, Reborn as a Vending Machine and A Certain Scientific Railgun. It started out as a quarterly release manga back in 1994, then turned bi-monthly and now monthly. Aside from the light novel adaptations, it also publishes manga from almost every age group, with Yotsuba End for the very young, Bloom Into You for the young teens, and Tora Kiss for the late teens. V-Jump is also a Shōnen Jump monthly manga magazine that, just like every other Jump magazine, is owned by Shueisha and started in 1990. This time focusing on manga based on video games like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. However, eventually some mangas that were once weekly Shōnen Jump switched over to V-Jump, like Shadow Lady and Boruto, or sequel series like The Brief Return of Dr. Slump and the last chapter of Saint Seiya. The mascot for V-Jump was created by Akira Toriyama, and V-Jump was later also the place where Dragon Ball Super had its monthly serialization. Bessatsu Shōnen Magazine is the Kodansha-owned monthly Shōnen magazine that started out as a spin-off of the weekly Shōnen magazine in 2009, a more lax magazine when it comes to censorship of expression, with Hajime Isayama, the author of Attack on Titan, stating that everything was fair game, just no cross-sections of human body. It's a place for mangakas who normally only publish a weekly Shōnen magazine to get a one-shot out if they so please. And also, if a popular anime is airing of one of the mangas in any of the other magazines, this is the ideal place to publish any add-on stories like Blue Lock episode of Nagi. Monthly Dragon Age sadly has nothing to do with the BioWare game, and instead is the Kadokawa, then a Fujimi Shobo, and after a merger, it again was the Kadokawa-owned monthly manga magazine that started publishing in 2003. While not purely an edgy magazine, its most popular manga are more on the edgy side like High School DxD, High School of the Dead, Dragons Rioting and Trinity 7, with full-on female nudity being a monthly occurrence within the pages of this magazine. Monthly Shonen Sunday is the monthly magazine of Shogakukan that was first published in 2009. And it's also for the more mature late teens to early 20s audience, and is, according to the mission statement of the magazine, a place that nurtures new writers and actively publishing stories that ranked highly in the Get Sun Newcomer Award. Most notably Soichiro Yamamoto, but it doesn't mean they publish more veteran mangakas, with Kyu Harashida publishing Dorohedoro in the monthly Shonen Sunday. Monthly Comic Rex is a monthly magazine published by Ichijinsha since 2005. It publishes a lot of girl manga that aren't for the female readers, with edgy undertones and more the focus on the beautiful shapes of ladies than the ladies themselves, with popular mangas being Masamune-kun's Revenge and My Wife is a Student Council President. Gundam Ace is the monthly manga magazine owned by Kadokawa, and you might have guessed it, is a magazine that focuses purely on Gundam. Aside from the manga adaptations of anime and or the side stories, this magazine also holds instructions and product information of the plastic models, as well as news for upcoming Gundam series and merchandise. Comic Yuri Hime S is the quarterly release manga magazine, with the first issue being from 2007, and is published also by Ichijinsa as well. However, as Monthly Comic Rex was just about beautiful girls, Comic Yuri Hime S asked the question no one was asking: what if you made the girls gay? And thus made an entire magazine involving lesbian main characters. This magazine is officially the sister magazine of Comic Yuri Hime, that aims at young girls, and Yuri Hime S is specifically for the male audiences.